Hello students, myself Dr. Muhammad Ahmed. I welcome you all to a new lecture of Mathematics 2. In this lecture we are going to discuss important questions for internal 1, right. So already I have forwarded important questions for internal 1 in the WhatsApp group. You might have seen I have forwarded a PDF file in which 9 SAQ questions, short answer questions are there, and 6 to 7 LAQ questions are there, 7 LAQ questions are there, long answer questions are there. So that we will discuss now. While discussing those problems only, we are going to revise whatever we have discussed so far, right. You know that in the previous 25 lectures we have completed 2.5 units. Total 5 units are there in your syllabus, out of which we have completed 2.5, means 2.5 units out of 5 units. And for your internal 1, the syllabus will be this 2.5 units of 5 units, right. Then what was unit 1? Unit 1 was matrices, right, and unit 2 was differential equations of first order, This was unit 2, and unit 3 was differential equations of higher order. So this lecture, in the previous lecture also we were discussing few topics from this unit 3, and the last topic that we have discussed was method of variation of parameters, which was discussed in lecture 25, right. In the lecture 25 we have discussed this topic, method of variation of parameters, which was the previous lecture, right. So the syllabus will be from unit 1, unit 2, and in unit 3 up to method of variation of parameters only. If you see the syllabus copy, you will understand up to method of variation of parameters only. This will be the syllabus. And for internal 1, because this internal 1 is going to be conducted in online mode, I have forwarded the important questions also, 9 SAQs and 7 to 8 LAQs I have forwarded. That will be discussed now. So out of that 9 SAQs, the first SAQ is determine the value of K for which the matrix A is given 6, 3, 5, 9, 5, 2, 3, 6, 3, 1, 2, K. This matrix is of order. What is the order of this matrix? Order means how many rows and how many columns are there. So 3 rows are there and 4 columns are there. So this matrix is of order 3 by 4, 3 rows and 4 columns. What is given? This matrix rank is given, E is of rank 3, means the matrix rank is given to be 3. We have to find the value of K, right. So here actually for rank in unit 1, this problem is related to unit 1 matrices, right. So rank is defined in 2 different ways. First one is rank by using minors, and second one is rank by using row echelon form, right. First one is rank by using minors. Suppose I am having a matrix A which is of order 3 by 3. Now this matrix is said to be of rank. Rank is denoted by row of A. Row of A is nothing but rank of A. Rank of A will be 3 if, what are the conditions? 2 conditions will be there. Third order minor of this matrix should be not 0. What is the third order minor for this matrix? Third order minor is the determinant itself. The determinant of matrix should be not 0, and all the minors of order greater than 3 should be 0. All the minors of order greater than 3 should be 0, and third order minor should be non-zero. Then the rank will be 3. Rank will be 2. Rank of A will be 2 if at least one second order minor of this matrix A should be non-zero. So at least one second order minor. You know what is the meaning of second order minor? That should be non-zero, and all the minors of order greater than 2 should be 0. For this matrix A, what will be the minor of order greater than 2? The minor of order greater than 2 for this matrix will be third order minor, which is the determinant itself. This should be 0, right. Rank will be 3 if determinant, the third order minor which is determinant is not equal to 0, and all the minors of order greater than 3 should be 0. Rank will be 2 if at least one second order minor is non-zero, and all the minors of order greater than 2 should be 0. Greater than 2 means 3. Third order minor means determinant itself, it should be 0. So this is how the rank is defined for any given matrix, right? Now what is given here? So given rank of the matrix A is given to be 3. What is the order of this matrix? It's a 3 by 4 matrix, and rank is given to be 3. So what is the meaning of this? At least one minor of order 3 should be non-zero. Rank will be 3 if at least one minor of order 3 should be non-zero. Rank will be 2 if at least one second order minor is non-zero. Rank is 3 if, what is the meaning? At least one minor, at least one minor of order 3 should be not equal to 0. At least one minor, rank will be 3 for this matrix if at least one minor of order 3 should be non-zero, and all the minors of order greater than 3 should be 0. But this condition is enough. You consider this condition. So if the given matrix is a 3 by 4 matrix, we need one third order minor. You consider out of this we can find 3-4 minors of order 3. Out of that you consider the minor in which this k is involved, because we need to find a, right? We need to find k, we need to find the value of k. So you consider a third order minor of this in which k is involved. You consider 3, 5, 9, consider this matrix 3, 5, 9, 2, 3, 6 and 1, 2, k. Minor of this means the determinant of this should be not equal to 0. This is what the condition says. The condition says that rank of A will be 3 if at least one minor of order 3 should be non-zero. The meaning is one third order minor means you consider any 3 by 3 matrix of this, submatrix of this, whose determinant is not equal to 0. Now simplify this. You can simplify this determinant. 3 into 3k minus 6 to the 12, right, minus 5 into 2k minus 6, then plus 9 into 4 minus 3 equal to not equal to 0. Now we have to simplify this. Let me check this determinant whether it is correct or not. 3 into 3k minus 12, then minus 5 into 2k minus 6, then plus 9 into 4 minus 3. It's correct. Now simplify this. What we'll get? 3 3s are 9k minus 12 3s are 36 minus 10k plus 30 plus 36 minus 27. Or else you can simplify this just instead of writing all this. What will happen here? See, 2 to the 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 will remain. 9 into 1 is 9 only. Is not equal to 0. Now simplify this. What will happen here? 9k minus 10k is minus k, and here minus 36 plus 30 plus 9. 30 plus 9 is 39 minus 36. So plus 3 is not equal to 0. Further simplify this. Minus k is not equal to minus 3, which implies k is not equal to 3. So k can be anything other than 3, right? K can be what was the question? Determine the value of k for which this matrix is of rank 3. So the rank of this matrix will be 3 if we select k other than 3. Other than 3 you can select k anything, right? You can select k anything other than 3. So this is the solution, right? Now we will see the second problem. Okay, the second question is reduce the matrix. The given matrix is 1 minus 2 3, 2 1 2, 5 minus 5 11 to echelon form, right? We have to reduce this matrix to echelon form and find its rank, right? What is the meaning of echelon form? Already we have discussed, and this question is related to first unit. The topic is rank of a matrix by using echelon form, right? What is echelon form? Any matrix, any given matrix is said to be in echelon form if any 0 row is there in that matrix, that should be in the bottom, right? The 0 row should be in the bottom, and when you move from top to bottom, number of zeros should be increasing row by row. If these two conditions are satisfied by any matrix, then the matrix is said to be in row echelon form. So here we have to reduce this matrix to row echelon form, right? And how to find the rank? If the matrix is reduced into row echelon form, then the rank will be given by number of non-zero rows present in the row echelon form, is called as rank of that matrix. So let us consider the given matrix as, let A equals to, the given matrix is 1 minus 2 3, 2 1 2, 5 minus 5 11. Now to reduce this to row echelon form, what we have to do, we have to make these two entries as 0 by using this entry, by using the first entry. By applying row operations, we have to make this one and this one as 0. So for making that one, those two entries as 0, we'll perform these row operations. The row operations are R2 should be replaced with R2 minus 2R1 and R3 should be replaced with R3 minus 5R1, right? Then what will happen? The matrix A will become, first row will not change because we are not doing anything on that. The second row will become 2 minus 2 will become 0. 2 minus 2 will become 0. Then 1 minus 2 into minus 2. Minus 2 into minus 2 is minus 4. So plus 4. Minus 2 into minus 2 is plus 4 and 1. So it will be 5, right? Then here 2 minus 6. Minus 2 into 3 is minus 6. So 2 minus 6 is minus 4. Then next here R3, third row, R3 minus 5R1. So it is 5 minus 5, it will be 0. Then minus 5 minus 2 into minus 5 is plus 10. Minus 5 plus 10 is plus 5. And here 11 minus 15 is minus 4, right? Now further, after making these two entries as 0, we try to make this entry as 0. But when we try to make this entry as 0, what will happen here? We will get a non-zero entry. So that is why we don't make this as 0. Instead of making this one as 0, we go for making this entry as 0. For making this entry as 0, if we use this entry, then this will become non-zero. So that is why to make this one as 0, we use this entry. So what will be the row operation here? The row operation is R3 should be replaced with R3 minus R2. If we perform this, then what will happen? The matrix will be 1 minus 2 3, 0 5 minus 4 will be as it is. These two rows will be as it is because we are not taking any row operation on these two rows. Then the last row will be 0 minus 0 is 0, 5 minus 5 is 0, minus 4 minus of minus 4 is 0. Now this is in row echelon form, right? Because when if any 0 rows is there, that should be in the bottom. 0 row is in the bottom, and when you move from top to bottom, number of zeros are increasing. So what we can say, which is in row echelon form. So the matrix is reduced to row echelon form. After reducing the row echelon form, we have to find the rank of matrix. So rank of A is number of non-zero rows in A. In the row echelon form of A, how many number of non-zero rows are there? Only 1 0 row is there. So 2 non-zero rows are there in this matrix. So rank will be 2. Right? This is the second question. Now we'll see the third question. The third question is examine the linear independence of vectors. 4 vectors are given here. 1 1 0 1 is the first vector. 1 1 1 1 is the second vector. Minus 1 1 1 1 is the third vector, and the last vector is 1 0 0 1. Right? We have to examine whether these vectors are linearly dependent or independent. Suppose these type of vectors are given, then what we have to do? We have to write these vectors as the rows of any matrix. So let us write that. Consider what we have to do. We have first, in the first step, before that, let us understand this problem is related to linearly dependent and independent vectors in unit 1, right? So what we have to do, these vectors should be written as the rows of a matrix. Write the first vector 1 1 0 1 as the first row, then 1 1 1 1 as the second row, then minus 1 1 1 1 as the third row, then 1 0 0 1 as the fourth row. So after writing this, what we have to do? We have to reduce this matrix to row echelon form. First we have to form the matrix by writing the vectors as the rows of that matrix. Then reduce this matrix to row echelon form. After reducing this to row echelon form, find the rank, right? Find the rank of A. If the rank is equal to number of vectors, then the vectors are said to be linearly independent. If the rank of A is less than number of vectors, How many number of vectors are given in this problem? In this particular problem, 4 vectors are given. If the rank is equal to 4, then the vectors are said to be linearly independent. If the rank is less than, if the rank of matrix is less than number of vectors, that is 4, then the vectors are said to be linearly dependent. Now let us find the rank. For finding the rank, we need to reduce the matrix to row echelon form. Just now we have seen in the previous problem. For reducing this to row echelon form, let us perform the row operations. R2 should be replaced with, because we have to make this one as 0, R2 should be replaced with R2 minus R1. Then R3 should be replaced with R3. So for making this one as 0, add these two. So R3 plus R1. Then R4 should be replaced with R4 minus R1. Then what will happen? This matrix will become A equals to, in the first row elements will be as it is because we are not performing anything on the first row. The second row will be 1 minus 1 will become 0. Then 1 minus 1 0, 1 minus 0 1, 1 minus 1 0. Second row over. Then third row plus first row, minus 1 plus 1 will become 0. Then 1 plus 1 will become 2. Then 1 plus 0 will become 1. Then 1 plus 1 will become 2. This is the third row. Then fourth row is 1 minus 1 is 0. Then 0 minus 1, 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Then 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0 is 0. Then 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Right. So after that, see, we have to make this entry as 0. Already it is 0. Then we have to make this entry as 0 and this entry as 0. These two entries should become 0. But for making these two as 0, we cannot make use of this. If we make use of this, then because of this we will get non-zero entries here. So actually we have to make the use of this one to make these two as 0, but already it is 0. So what we will do is we will interchange these two rows. So first we will interchange R2 and R3. Then what will happen? The matrix will become A equals to 1 1 0 1. Then third row will become second row. So 0 2 1 2. Then second row will become third row, 0 0 1 0. Last row will be 0 minus 1 0 and 0 as it is, right. Then further we try to make this one as 0, minus 1, here 2 is there. So multiply this with 2 and subtract from here. So R4 should be replaced with R4 should be multiplied with 2. So 2 R4 plus R2. Then we will see what will happen. Matrix A will be, first row will be 1 1 0 1 as it is. Then 0 2 1 2 will be as it is. 0 0 1 0 will be as it is. Then here 0 minus 0 will be 0 only. Then minus here 2, minus 2 plus 2, because 2 R4 is there, no. So minus 2 here and 2 here. Minus 2 plus 2 is 0. Then 0 0 plus 1, 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 0 plus 2, 0 plus 2 is 2, right. So this is the matrix that we are getting. Now further we can make this one as 0 by subtracting from this, right. So when we subtract, what we will get? R4 should be replaced with R4 minus R3. Then what will happen? Matrix A will become 1 1 0 1 0 2 1 2 0 0 1 0. Then what will happen? This 2 will be zeros. 1 minus 1 is 0, 2 minus 0 is 2 only, right. So further simplifications are not possible. If we try to make this one as 0 by using this row, then because of these two we will get non-zero entries here. If we try to make this one as 0 by using this, then because of these two non-zeros we will get non-zeros here. So that is why further simplifications are not possible. So if any 0 row is there, that should be in the bottom. Here we are not having any 0 row. But when we move from top to bottom, number of zeros are increasing. You see 0 zeros are there, 1 0 is there, 2 zeros are there, 3 zeros are there. So zeros are increasing. So it is in row echelon form, which is in row echelon form. So once it is row echelon form, we can find the rank of this. Rank of A is how many number of non-zero rows are there in this row echelon form. All are non-zero rows. At least one non-zero entry is there in each row. So that is why all are non-zero rows. So rank of A will be 4. Now how many vectors are given? Actually in the question, how many vectors are given? 4 vectors are given. So rank of A is 4, which is equal to number of vectors, which is equal to number of vectors. If rank is equal to number of vectors. What can you say about vectors? Therefore, given vectors are linearly independent. Therefore, given vectors are linearly independent, right? If we get rank to be less than number of vectors, then vectors will become linearly dependent, right? So these were the 3 questions, 3 SAQs which are from unit 1. Now we are going to see SAQs, important SAQs related to unit 2. Okay, the 4th question is solve x into e power xy plus 2y into dy plus y into e power xy into dx equals to 0. Now if we see this, this question is a first order differential equation. So this question belongs to unit 2, that is differential equations of first order, right? How to solve this? This equation is in the form mdx plus ndy equals to 0. So given equation you consider as 1, then given is of the form mdx plus ndy equal to 0. So here what is m? M is, see, m is the coefficient of dx. So for dx, what is the coefficient here? Y into e power xy, right? And what is n? N is the coefficient of dy. So here n is x into e power xy plus 2y, right? This is m and n. So for solving these type of equations, first we have to find dou m by dou y and dou n by dou x. So let us find dou m by dou y, and here we have to find dou n by dou x. If these two are equal, if we get these two to be equal, then the equation 1, given equation is said to be exact. If it is exact, we know how to find the general solution. There is a formula for finding general solution. Suppose if these two are not equal, then the equation 1 is said to be non-exact, and for solving non-exact differential equation we are having 4 to 5 different methods, right? So here let us see whether this equation is going to be exact or not. So find dou m by dou y, because we are differentiating m partially with respect to y, and y is there here and y is there in this. So uv rule we have to apply. First differentiate y, that will become 1, then e power xy as it is, uv rule we are using, then y will be as it is, derivative of e power xy, derivative of e power xy is e power xy into x, because we are differentiating with respect to y. So that is why this x we will get as it is. Then simplify this, what we will get? E power xy plus xy into e power xy, right? This is dou m by dou y. Now find dou n by dou x. So dou n by dou x, partially differentiation of n, derivative of n partially with respect to x. X is there here and x is there here. uv rule again. So derivative of first function, which is 1, then derivative of e power xy with respect to x is e power xy. Sorry, already we have differentiated x with respect to x. So we will get 1 e power xy as it is, then plus x as it is, this x as it is, then derivative of e power xy. Derivative of e power xy is e power xy into y, because we are differentiating partially with respect to x. So then here 2y, there is no x in this, derivative will be 0. So what we are getting here, e power xy plus xy into e power xy. So we are getting here, therefore what we can say, dou m by dou y is equal to dou n by dou x. If they are equal, then what we can say, equation 1 is, the given equation 1 is exact, right? If it is exact, then therefore general solution, if it is exact, general solution of 1 is, what is the general solution? Integral y constant m dx plus integral terms of n not involving x, into dy equals to constant. This will be the general solution. Now integral y constant, what is m? M is y into e power xy into dx, right? Plus integral terms of n is here, not involving x. What are the terms which are not involving x here? This is involving x, only this is the term which are not involving x. So 2y into dy equal to c. Now integrate this. Integration, first integration is with respect to x. So y will be treated as constant, y into e power xy, derivative integration with respect to x, no. So we will get in the denominator, we will get y. It is something like e power ax. Integration of e power ax is e power ax by a. The same way e power ax, in place of a we are having y. So in the denominator we are getting y, plus 2 into integration of y is y square by 2 equal to c. This 2 y will get cancelled. Then the required general solution is e power xy plus y square equal to c. This is the required general solution of given exact differential equation. Now we will see fifth problem. So fifth question is solve x dy minus of y minus x into dx equal to 0. Again you consider this equation as 1. So given equation is of the form m dx plus n dy equal to 0. Here what is m? See, m is the coefficient of dx. Here dx is there. What is m? Minus of y minus x. So m is minus of y minus x. And what is n? N is coefficient of dy. So here x, right? Then what we have to do, if the equation is of the form m dx plus n dy equal to 0, we have to find dou m by dou y and dou n by dou x. Let us find those two, dou m by dou y. So what will get? Minus derivative of y with respect to y is 1, then derivative of x with respect to y is 0, then dou n by dou x which is 1. So here we are getting minus 1 and here we are getting 1. They are not equal. Therefore what we can say? Therefore dou m by dou y is not equal to dou n by dou x. Therefore what we can say? Equation 1 is non-exact, right? If it is exact, then we know how to solve that, right? Just now we have seen if the equation, if they are equal, then the equation is said to be exact and we know how to find the general solution of that. Integral y constant m dx, so on, right? But here it is non-exact. So if it is non-exact, we are having various methods, out of which first method is inspection method, right? When we have to apply the inspection method. Inspection method is applicable when the equation is involving these kind of terms. What kind of terms? X dy, y dx, x dx. If the equation is involving these kind of terms, x dx, y dy or x dy, y dx, if these kind of terms are there in the equation, then we have to use inspection method, right? Inspection method. So for using inspection method, let us rewrite this equation 1, let us rewrite that. So what we will get here? X dy minus y dx minus plus x dx equal to 0. This is equation 1 only, right? Now in inspection method we are having one formula which will be something like this: x dy minus y dx by x square. This can be written as derivative of y by x, right? Derivative of y by x. The expansion of this is x dy minus y dx by x square. So here we are having x dy minus y dx. These two terms we are having, but in the denominator we are not having x square. So divide with x square. So what we will get here? X dy minus y dx by x square plus here x by x square is nothing but 1 by x into dx equal to 0. Now this complete term can be written as derivative of d of y by x plus 1 by x into dx equal to 0. Now how to solve this? Integrating. So we have to integrate this. So integrating, what we will get? Integration of derivative of y by x plus integration of 1 by x dx equal to integration constant c. Now this derivative and integration will get cancelled. So what we will get? Y by x here plus 1 by x. Integration of 1 by x is log x equal to c, right? So this is how we solve a non-exact differential equation by using inspection method. This was the 5th question, right? Now we will see the 6th problem. Okay, the 6th question is solve x square plus 1 into dy by dx plus 4xy equals to 1 by x square plus 1. Now this equation is of the form dy by dx. So this equation, but before that we need to rewrite this. A little bit of simplification will give us. So what I am going to do is divide the whole equation with x square plus 1. So what we will get, dy by dx, because x square plus 1 will get cancelled here. What we will get here, plus 4x by x square plus 1 into y equal to 1 by x square plus 1 is already there. One more x square plus 1 will come. Because of that we will get square here. Now you consider this as equation 1. Equation 1 is of the form dy by dx plus p into y equals to q, where what is p here? P is given by 4x by x square plus 1 and q is given by 1 by x square plus 1 whole square. So these are p and q for the given equation, right? So because of we are having dy by dx plus p y equals to q, this equation is called as linear first order linear differential equation. First order linear differential equation. This is there in your syllabus in unit 2 after exact and non-exact differential equations. So this is the first order linear differential equation, right, which is of the form, most general form of first order linear differential equation is dy by dx plus capital P into y equals to capital Q. Now you can compare this equation with this, then what we will get, dy by dx plus, in place of P we are having 4x by x square plus 1 and in place of Q we are having 1 by x square plus 1 whole square. For solving this equation, what do we do? We find integrating factor. So integrating factor is given by integrating factor equal to e power integral capital P dx, which is equal to e power integral, what is capital P? Capital P is 4x by x square plus 1 into dx. Now this can be written as, I will remove this 4. So I will write this 2x by x square plus 1 and 2 I am writing outside. Actually e power integral p dx, in place of p 4x by x square plus 1 will be there, but 2 I am writing outside. Then what will happen here, integral, we are having a formula which goes something like this, integral f dash of x by f of x dx. This is nothing but log of f of x, right, plus c will be there. But here f dash of x by f of x, you consider this f of x as x square plus 1. X square plus 1 you consider as f of x. Then f dash of x, derivative of f. See, x square derivative is 2x, 1 derivative is 0. So x square plus 1 derivative is 2x only. It is in the form of f dash of x by f of x. And the integration is given by log of f of x. So log of 2 into log of, what is f of x here? X square plus 1. Now further what will happen, this is the formula. Now further what will happen with this term, it can be written as e power log of x square plus 1 whole square. Then integrating factor will be, this exponential and logarithmic will get cancelled. So x square plus 1 whole square. This is the integrating factor that we are getting. Now once we get the integrating factor, general solution is given by, so general solution, therefore general solution of 1 is, it is y into integrating factor equal to integration of q into integrating factor into dx plus c. This will be the general solution of linear differential equation. So y into, what is integrating factor? Just now we got integrating factor to be x square plus 1 whole square, which is equal to integration q. What is q? Q is here 1 by x square plus 1 whole square into integrating factor. Integrating factor is x square plus 1 whole square into dx plus c. Now this x square plus 1 whole square, this x square plus 1 whole square will get cancelled. So what will remain finally? Y into x square plus 1 whole square equal to integration of 1. Integration of 1 is x plus C. So this is the required general solution for the given first order linear differential equation, which is given by y into x square plus 1 whole square equals to x plus c. This is the general solution. So this was sixth question. Now we are going to see the seventh question. We are going to see the seventh question now. Now the next question is find the general and singular solution of y equals to xy dash minus y dash whole power 3. So whenever a question comes like this, find the general as well as singular solution, we have to understand that the question is the given equation will be Clairaut's equation, because for Clairaut's equation only we will find singular solution. So identification of question is important in end semester examination. So I am telling you the trick. Whenever singular solution is asked, we have to understand that this question is related to Clairaut's equation. In Clairaut's equation, what we do, let y dash equals to p. In place of y dash we put p. Then what will happen? Y equals to x into p minus p whole cube, right? It is, this equation is in the form of, which is Clairaut's equation, which is Clairaut's equation, because it is in the form of y equals to px plus a function of p, right? You see that it is in the form of y equals to px plus some function of p minus p cube is f of p now. F of p is minus p cube. Therefore, if it is Clairaut's equation, then general solution, you consider this as 1, then general solution of 1 is simply what we have to do, p should be replaced with c, right? P should be replaced with constant, that is xc minus c cube. You consider this as equation 2, which is the general solution of given Clairaut's equation. Now we have to find the singular solution. For finding singular solution, we have to differentiate this equation 2 with respect to c and eliminate that c. So differentiate 2 with respect to c. So what we will get here, derivative of y with respect to c is 0 and x as it is, derivative of c with respect to c is 1. So we are getting 1 here, and derivative of c cube with respect to c is 3c square. Then simplify this, what we will get, 3c square equals to x. Further c square equals to x by 3. Further c equals to square root of x by 3, right? We got c. Now we have to eliminate this c from 2. So from 2 y equals to x into c. c is square root of x by 3 minus c cube square root of x by 3 whole cube. This is the required singular solution, which is required singular solution. Further, if you want, you can simplify singular solution, but this is enough for us, right? So what we have to do for finding singular and general solution for any given Clairaut's equation, we have to replace p. First we have to replace y dash with p, then the equation will be of the form y equals to px plus f of p. Then p should be replaced with c to get the general solution. Then differentiate general solution with respect to c, then we will get the value of c. Substitute back the value of c in equation 2, we will get the required singular solution, right? Now with this we have completed SAQ questions, important SAQ questions of unit 2 also. First 3 questions are from unit 1, then next 4 to 7th question are 4, 5, 6, 7. These 4 questions are from unit 2. First 3 questions are from unit 1, then next 4 questions are from unit 2, then last 2 questions 8 and 9 are from unit 3. Now let us see 8th question. Okay, 8th question is solve d cube plus d square plus 4d plus 4 into y equals to 0. So what type of equation it is? It's a differential equation, no doubt, because the derivatives are there. But is it a first order differential equation or higher order differential equation? D cube means it's a third order derivative involved in the differential equation. So it's a higher order differential equation. So higher order differential equations are there in unit 3. In unit 2 only first order differential equations are there. In unit 3 only higher order differential equations are there, right? So this problem is related to higher order differential equation. Now whether it is a homogeneous equation or non-homogeneous equation, right hand side 0 is given, so it's a homogeneous equation. If it is a homogeneous higher order differential equation with constant coefficients and it is linear, then the solution is complementary function itself. If right hand side something else is given, then we have to find particular integral, but here right hand side 0 is given, we have to find only complementary function. Already the equation is in operator form. For finding complementary function, we have to write the auxiliary equation. So consider this as equation 1. Auxiliary equation of 1 is, what is the auxiliary equation? M cube plus m square plus 4m. D should be replaced with m. 4m plus 4 equal to 0. That why all those things should not be written, only this is the auxiliary equation. Now we have to find the roots of this, because the complementary function depends on the roots of auxiliary equation, right? Roots may be real and distinct. First case, roots may be real and equal. Second case, roots may be complex, that is the third case. So let us find the roots of this. Directly we cannot factorize this. So for factorizing this, we use the synthetic division method. So what will be the synthetic division method? First we have to write the coefficients 1, 1, 4, 4. So these are the coefficients. Now let us try with 1. Let us try with 1. Then what will happen? 1 here, 0, 1, 1, we'll get 2 here. Then 2 was a 2, here we will get 6, then 6 1s are 6. It is not becoming 0. Actually here we should get 0, but we are not getting 0. So we cannot start with 1 now. So instead of this, let us start with minus 1. Let us start with minus 1. Let us see what will happen if we consider minus 1. Then 0, here we will get 1. Then 1 into minus 1 is minus 1, we will get 0 here. Then 0 into minus 1 is 0. Then 4 plus 0 is 4. Then 4 into minus 1 is minus 4. So we are getting 0 here. When we start with a minus 1, we are getting 0 here. So one root is minus 1. For this equation, for this auxiliary equation, one root is minus 1. Then the factor will be m minus of minus 1, which will be m plus 1. Then m square plus 0 into m plus 4 equal to 0. Then m plus 1 into, it is m square plus 4, no? M 0, 0 we don't need to write. So m square plus 4 equals to 0. Then m plus 1 equals to 0, and m square plus 4 equal to 0. So this will be m square equal to minus 4. Then m equal to plus or minus square root of 4 is 2, and square root of minus 1. Square root of minus 1 is I. Here what will get? M equals to minus 1. So the roots are, one root is real here, for because it's a third order equation, third degree auxiliary equation. 3 roots we will get. First root is minus 1, second root is plus 2i, third root is minus 2i. So we are getting one real root and complex roots. Then what will be the general solution? Therefore the general solution of 1 is y equals to, first root is real, no? So c1 into e power m1x. m1 is minus 1, so minus x, plus then remaining roots are complex. So for complex roots, if we are getting alpha plus or minus I beta, then complex roots e power complementary function will be e power alpha x c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x. This will be the complementary function when the roots are complex. In place of alpha we are having 0 here. So e power 0 x into, instead of c1, because c1 is already used here, we use c2. c2 cos beta, beta is 2 here. c2 cos 2x plus c3 sin 2x, right? So simplify this, y equals to c1 e power minus x plus c2 cos 2x plus c3 sin 2x. This will be the general solution or complementary function of the given equation 1, right? So what we have to do, first we have to write the auxiliary equation, find the roots, then depending upon the roots we know how to write the complementary function or the general solution for homogeneous equation. So this is 8th question. Now we will see 9th question. Now 9th question is, find the particular integral of d cube plus 2d square plus d into y equals to e power 2x plus x square, right? For this question, actually this question is a third order differential equation, so this question is from unit 3. But if the question is like, instead of find particular integral, if we are asked to find the general solution, then we have to find complementary function as well as particular integral. But since the question is SAQ and it is asked for 2 marks, so that in that case only particular integral is asked. So we are not asked to find the complementary function. Directly we have to find the particular integral. So it is in the form of f of d. This equation is in the form of f of d into y equals to x, capital X, right, where f of d is d cube plus 2d square plus d and capital X is e power 2x plus x square, right. So now particular integral. So particular integral which is denoted by yp is given by 1 by f of d into capital X, which is 1 by, what is f of d here? F of d is d cube plus 2d square plus d into capital X. Capital X is here e power 2x plus x square, right. See, it depends on particular integral is we are having 5 different cases. First one is e power ax, second one is sine of ax plus b or cos of ax plus b, third one is x power m, fourth one is e power ax into v of x, fifth one is any other function of x other than previous 4, right. Out of these 4 cases, which cases will be used here? Let us see. E power 2x, first case, e power ax, and for this term x square, which is in the form of x power m, third case. So first case and third cases will be used. So for that, what we'll do is yp equals to, we'll simplify this f of d. You take d as common, from this. What will remain here? D square plus 2d plus 1. Here e power 2x plus x square will be as it is, right. Here d into d square plus 2d plus 1 is there, no? 1 by d into, this can be written as d square plus 2d plus 1 can be written as d plus 1 or better 1 plus d whole square into e power 2x plus x square will be as it is, right. Can we write like this? Because when we expand this, what we'll get? 1 square, then plus d square, then plus 2d. A plus b whole square, when we expand, we'll get these 3 terms. So we can write like this. Now this can be written as, you separate the terms, e power 2x by d into 1 plus d whole square, right, plus 1 by d into, or better we can write like this. See, 1 by d into 1 plus d whole power minus 2 into x square. So why we are writing like this? Because x square belongs to third case and e power 2x belongs to first case. In first case, what we have to do from the denominator, d should be replaced with 2. And when x square is there, x power m, third case is there, we have to write f of d in the form of 1 plus phi of d. We have to write f of d in the form of 1 plus phi of d by taking the least degree term of d as common. We are taking the least degree term, d cube, d square, d power 1. This is the least degree term that is taken out, right. So we have to write, after taking this out, we have to write in the form of 1 plus phi of d. Right, 1 plus phi of d when we take in the numerator, we will get minus 2. Now we are having a formula for that, 1 plus x whole power minus 2. If it is there, then it will be, expansion of this is given by 1 minus 2x plus 3x square minus 4x cube plus so on, right. We have to use this expansion. But for the first term, we apply the first case, d should be replaced with 2. Then what we will get here? E power 2x by 2 into 1 plus 2 whole square. Then plus 1 by d into, see, it is 1 plus x form. So what we will get? 1 minus 2x. So 1 minus 2d plus 3d square minus 4d cube plus so on into x square as it is. Now simplify this. First term, when we simplify, we will get e power 2x by, here 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 square is 9 to the 18. So we are getting here e power 2x by 18 as the first term. Then second term will be, you take this 1 by d inside. What will happen? 1 by d here in the first term, then 2d by d is 2 only, plus 3d square by d is 3d minus 4d cube by d is 4d square. We don't need to write the further terms because the second derivative of x square will be persisting, but third derivative of x square will not be non-zero, it will become 0. So let us see, e power 2x by 18 plus 1 by d of x square, that is integration. 1 by d is nothing but inverse operator, 1 by d is integration. So what will happen here? So integration of x square is x cube by 3 minus 2 into x square plus 3 into d of x square, means derivative of x square is 2x minus 4 into second derivative of x square. First derivative of x square is 2x, second derivative is 2. The third derivative will be, first derivative will be x square. If we write the next term, then d cube will be there, right? Why we are not writing d cube? Because first derivative will be 2x, second derivative will be 2, third derivative will be, derivative of 2 is 0. So we don't need to write. Then what will be the final answer? Final particular integral is e power 2x by 18 plus x cube by 3 minus 2x square plus 6x minus 8. So this is the required particular integral, right? So this is the particular integral of given equation. So these are the these are the 9 questions that we have discussed, which are important for internal 1 examination, which is going to be conducted online. And so these are the questions that will be covered from unit 1, 2 and 3, right? So in next class we will see LAQ questions, important LAQ questions for internal 1 examination, right? These are the 9 SAQs. Then next 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 6 questions will be there. I think 6 or 7 questions will be there. 6 questions are there. That will be discussed in 6 LAQ questions are there. That will be discussed in next class. I am going to end today's session here. See you in the next class. Thank you.